Hi, welcome to the channel. I bet you may have a creative project that's been sitting in a drawer, maybe in a file, maybe in the back of your mind. And when you think of it, there's two thoughts that immediately happen at the same time. And those two thoughts are the following. Oh, that's right. I really like that project. And then the other part of it is, I'm never going to get that done. And they clash right at the same time, and they cause sort of this just push and pull that happens. How many of you watching this have started something that you haven't touched in months or maybe even years? I will be the first one to raise my hand on that. um, that feeling that you have that happens when those two things collide, right? Where it's just like, I still want this and it's never going to happen. I'm going to argue this. What you are feeling, it has nothing to do with laziness. It's actually more grief that you're experiencing. And you're grieving a version of yourself that you're not sure that exists anymore. That's what we're going to get into on this video today. And I'm going to let you know there's hope. You can do this and finish it. If you're brand new to the channel, hi, my name is Kevin Gregg. I'm a creative director, producer, writer. I have performed and produced for, I've performed and presented for over 2.5 million audience members, and I help people get their creative work done. As a matter of fact, one of the ways that I do that, and a way that you can also support the channel, if you are trying to get your creative work done and you want the help and the support to get it done, I've actually got something pretty cool. It's called the Working Creatives Community, which is over on the School platform. We help people get their creative work done, find their audience, get it to market, and start getting income and revenue coming in for their creative work. That's what we do. It's a great way to support the channel. Now, here's the deal. Why this too late feeling, it feels so true. Why, when you have this thing and it comes up and it goes, it'll never happen. It's never going to happen, or it's going to happen for everybody else, but it's definitely not going to happen for me. What causes that to start feeling so true? When you have the gap between when you've started working on the project or had the idea and actually working on it, that gap starts becoming, it starts feeling like it's its own evidence, right? The thing that happens is, because you're not working on it, you start saying things to yourself. You know what? If this mattered to me, I would have done this by now. And the fact that I'm not doing it, I guess that proves that I just don't want it. But that's not actually how creative work functions. We'll get into that in a moment. You start having an identity erosion that happens because you haven't been working on the project. All of a sudden, you start not feeling the identity of what you felt while you were doing the project. Like, I'm no longer a painter because I'm not actually painting, or I'm no longer a writer because I'm not writing anymore. And that identity shift starts really, it just starts messing you up majorly, right? And it causes it just to feel true. If I were a filmmaker, I actually would be making my films. I would be making my movies, all right? Then you're also dealing with, there's a term that's called the sunk cost trap, okay? So the sunk cost trap is, you're working on something, like say that you're working on a house and you've committed to what the project is and it has to get done. But as you're doing it, it just starts costing more and more. It just starts costing more and more money as you do it, right? So you just start throwing more and more money into it and go, we're in it now, we got to finish it, right? So sunk cost, right? But this is a little bit of sunk cost in reverse that happens, because you look at the project not getting finished, and the first thing that you think is, I've wasted so much time already. What's the point of me adding more, right? You almost start to do it's almost like a conserving time and energy fearfully, for where you go, well, I've already not put in the time for doing this. Why would I waste it? I've wasted so much of this time already. What's the point of adding more time? Because I'm just going to end up wasting it, not getting it done, right? It starts causing like this cognitive distortion. Then here's the big thing. It's fear of confirming the worst. As long as you don't try, you can still tell yourself that you could, right? As long as you don't do it, there's still sort of the dream of like, well, I could do that. I could finish that someday, right? But like you're afraid the moment that you try and that you stumble, now that dream of actually completing it will be at risk, right? So it's safer to have it in a moment of like, yeah, I could do that someday. And it's almost safer to have it in that dreamy could day space, because the moment of even trying it, if you were to do any sort of failure or stumble along the way and mess up with it, now that entire dream is shattered. So it's so much easier to just go, you know what, I'm just going to stay all the way back here and then just not interact with that dream, just not interact with that dream at all. That's the safest thing for me. Now, here's the thing. The problem that happens with all of this, there's a cycle that starts existing with this. And I'm actually going to show you this really quick, what this cycle looks like. And I bet you if you see this, you're going to immediately identify with this. First, on your project, it feels like excitement, then it's overwhelm, then avoidance, then you start to feel shame because of this. And it's because you feel shame that you haven't been working on it. You start doing a longer absence, and then all of that longer absence just goes to, it's too late. It's never going to happen. And it is this shame cycle that happens, right? And you can break out of this again. You could get back to the thing of like, you could get to a point like, oh, no, wait a minute, I'm excited about it again, but then start feeling the avoidance, the overwhelm of it, like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? Then avoidance, I'll just put this off for today or for the next few days. Then the shame that you've put it away, leading to longer absence from it. It's too late. You just get stuck in this crazy, crazy cycle, right? And that's the shame. The shame is the thing that keeps that cycle running. And every day always adds to the shame. More shame that you feel about this, about not touching on your work, the less likely that you are to return. It's just a compounding loop. Now, all of a sudden, this project starts to become like a mirror of you, right? This stops about being the project. It stops being about the work, and it starts being about what the project says about you, right? The fact that you are not doing it starts compounding this idea of like, you're a failure. You are a loser. Who do you think you are? Who were you kidding, right? And believe me, I know this, is that when this stuff starts creeping in, this is Satan that starts creeping in and starts telling you not to do that. That's why I'm a huge one of like going, if you've been given these talents by God and God is calling you towards this, and again, this goes right back to so much of Stephen Pressfield's stuff about resistance, you are going to get immediately hit by something that says, that tries to negate you from doing it. And the biggest one is like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you were kidding, right? And it just starts to compound and just feels like, oh, it's the worst. It becomes paralyzing. Here's the key thing that's happened. I want you to hear this. The creative project hasn't changed. Your story about the project has changed, right? You still have the idea. The idea is still there. You're just bringing in extra stuff that is nonsense, that's throwing you off of it, that's trying to tell you, yeah, but you're not the guy to do it. Or who did you think you were, right? You had this idea that came to you to get and to create and to bring into the world. And now all of a sudden you start believing this lie that is creeping in, that is saying, yeah, might be a great idea, but you're not the one to make this happen. There's no way you can make this happen, right? Here's some reasons why it actually feels like it may be too late to do the project, right? You start comparing where you are to where you thought you'd be by now, all right? You start comparing yourself to where you are in the moment to where you thought you'd be by now. This happens with all of us. This happens with any version of imaginative thinking. We have this pie in the sky idea of what the project is going to look like. And if we really don't we can get so compelled, like, I don't understand why I'm not where I thought I was going to be, or why the project isn't where I thought it would be. So we have this comparison that's also based on kind of imaginative thinking. And we have to get realistic about it, but we can get realistic about it without completely berating or paralyzing ourselves. Here's the other thing that happens with comparison. You've watched other people, and a lot of these fall in this comparison trap. You've watched other people launch a version of what you like to do, and you've seen them doing it and being successful, and you immediately compare your story to their story or your journey to their journey, and you, again, have no idea what their circumstances are. They may have had easier circumstances. They may have other things that worked out for them. They may have actually gone through more difficult challenges and hardships and blockades that you have no idea that they had to get through. And now all of a sudden you're seeing them at a later stage while they're doing it, and you're comparing it to where you are right now. You cannot compare what's happened, what somebody else's journey is to yourself. Then you have this imagined window, right? You have this ticking clock, right? It's like you feel like, well, then that's it. A season, a year, a moment. It's all just this shutting window. This is one of the big things that happened with my son with his autism with Duncan. It was one of the things that drove me crazy. As we were trying to help him with getting services or things like that to help him continually, work on his verbalization or his verbal skills or any of this stuff, we would keep hearing, there's a window closing, a window closing, a window closing, right? What awful language to use, right? Because what it does is it completely limits. And the fact is, it's like, okay, Duncan may not have hit certain milestones and certain things, but that doesn't mean that he's not doing lifelong learning or continuing to try and push or whatever. But to say, that's it, the window's over, it's closed, it's done, right? So you may have an imaginary window or door that's closing, like, oh, if you don't do it, you don't do it, you don't do it, that's it, right? There's some things I understand that applies to. For example, if you're trying, well, I want to be a professional basketball athlete, or I want to be an astronaut or something like that, or what, I understand that. But there are certain aspects of creative stuff where you just go, okay, then we just do a pivot here. We figure out how to alter this. But the fact that it would completely shut and that you're not able to do any version of your project at all, it's nonsense. You may also be feeling this, why it also may feel like it's too late. Technology or trends or the market has moved on and you just feel left behind, right? You just feel like, oh, shit, I just learned this. I just learned how to do it this way, and now everything has changed how people do it, and then that's it. Well, it's all over. Forget it, Instead of like thinking, okay, well, can you still use a version of what you've learned and then pivot with this? Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 5 steps right now, 5 quick steps that are going to tell you how to actually get back into the project, okay? Easy steps on how to get back into this, all right? That'll shift you so that you just go, hey, you're okay, all right? All right. First of all, lower the bar on purpose. Lower the bar. This is about when you're coming back to the project, you don't have to re-enter right away with like, well, I'm coming back in because I'm going to finish it. Okay, let's just take it one step at a time. Just re-enter with the idea of like, you know what, I'm just gonna touch it. I'm just gonna look at it. I'm just gonna like open the file, read one chapter, write a paragraph, write a sentence. This is why I'm such a big one on 6-minute timers, right? You don't have to do a massive amount of stuff. It's just showing up. It could be a 6-minute timer, 3-minute timer, 2-minute timer. Who cares? Just lower it, just so that you're touching the material again. All that you're trying to do at this point, and why we lower the bar on purpose, is just to disrupt the avoidance pattern, to break you out of that, of like going, I can't. It's just like, well, just look at it, just touch it. And once you break that thing, it's not about completing and finishing the project. It's just about getting you away from the thing like, I can't look at it. Open up the file. That's all you got to do. Number 1, lower the bar on purpose. Just touch the material. That's all. Number 2, separate your identity from the output, right? Stop thinking about this stuff. Like, for example, if it's writing or script or a novel or something like that. Well, I'm no longer right. It's just like, who cares what you're claiming that what you were or what you are? It's all about the action that you're doing in the moment. Just write. Stop hanging on to what the identity is. Well, I'm no longer an actor. I haven't acted in a long time. Who cares? Just act right now in this moment. Or I haven't made a movie in forever, not really a filmmaker. Grab a phone. Just film something. Just film, right? Or pick up a guitar. I'm not a musician. Pick up a guitar. Just play. I'm not really a painter. Get out your brushes and just paint or draw. That's all I got. Stop thinking about what the identity is. You just have to write or paint or draw or play music today. Just today. If you're doing it today, the identity will catch up, okay? We're just looking for what the action is. Stop looking for what the identity is and focus on what's the action I need to do. Number 3, acknowledge the time that you've lost, honestly, and then you got to let it go. You have to let it go. Okay, yes, I didn't touch this thing. I didn't touch this thing for like 3 years. Yeah, okay, that happened, right? You can say that out loud. I didn't do it. Given that I didn't do that, what can I do now? What can I do now? Grief and forward motion aren't opposites. You can grieve that moment and go, that didn't happen. Didn't happen the way that I didn't use my time properly that I did. What do I do about it in the moment? Believe me, there's a lot of correlations I have with this, with, being a recovering alcoholic, of having this moment of just like realizing, oh my gosh, I can't drink anymore. All of that stuff that I used to do, I used to really enjoy having all that stuff, and now all of that time that I lost on that, I'm feeling like an absolute loser. But then in that moment, okay, what's the next step that I do now? What's the next step that you do in your project, right? Grieve it, acknowledge it, but then move on. Find one external witness. Accountability isn't about discipline. It's about making the work real to someone other than yourself. This isn't about just doing it on your own. That's a big thing that happens with creatives. We keep it right here in the brain. And then we think, well, I've been doing this and I've been having this struggle alone, but I'll also get myself out of this by myself. It's not going to work. You're going to need some help. You got to partner up with someone that you know, that knows you, that loves you, that cares about you, that knows what your potential is, and that can also call you on your crap for when you're making excuses. Share that with someone. Hey, I'm trying to get back and I need accountability with this. I need your help. Not asking them, will you help me? Tell them that you need their help. And then start hammering out stuff. And I'll also say this is your journey, your creative journey, and your creative project. You're going to have some skin in the game. Don't put it on someone else to say, well, I got to get this done. Now it's all on you in order to make sure that I do this. This is your journey. This is what you're trying to get done. But you can also bring someone in to help you to get the stuff done and to help keep you accountable. But don't put all of the onus on them to say, oh, I won't be able to do this unless you make me. You make you, and keep somebody along the way that keeps you accountable. And maybe start incorporating in some rewards and penalties to make sure that you get it done. All right? Redefine finish. Redefine finish. All right, you may have had an idea for, like a major, I thought it was going to be like a $60 million feature film. That's what the vision was, right? Sometimes that original vision of what you wanted to do, that's the thing that's blocking you, right? A smaller, real vision ships. A perfect, complete version stays in the drawer forever. If you got to alter this thing and bring this thing down on a smaller version to make it happen, then so be it. Maybe it's not going to be that. Maybe it's not going to be the $50 million thing. Maybe it's just a concept that ends up turning into a really well produced, awesome 10 to 15 minute YouTube video that's out there. At least it's out there, and at least it's finished. But maybe you have to redefine what this is, and that's okay too. That's okay too. So, here's the thing. Those are the 5 things that you can do. People who are always saying that it's too late are the ones who decided they were. That's it. Too late. It's easier for them to go, it was that, but now it's over. Now it's over. You don't have to agree to that. You don't have to agree to saying it's too late. Project is still there. You're still there. The question isn't whether it's too late, it's whether you're willing to find out. It doesn't have to be too late. You have to make that decision. That decision can happen with one easy, simple step. So, what is it for you? What's the project that you're avoiding? What's the thing that you put off for a few months, for a few years? What is it? I've been there, guys. I've been there. I've been in a situation where I was on my path to trying to become a regular Imagineer when I was working with the Walt Disney Company. And I started on my path of, this is it. I'm going to start taking meetings. I'm going to do pitches. I invested a solid year, almost year and a half, really going in and just saying, having meetings, taking meetings, really between work, between all this stuff, driving all over the place, making this stuff happen. And then I got close. And then the person that was going to be my key person in, there ended up being a downsizing that happened at Imagineering, and then poof, it was gone. My key in was gone, and then I went into basically a depressive spiral for about 2 years, where I just went, "What's the point? What's the point?" I did all of that work, I did all of that stuff, and then I went into a spiral for about 2 years where I just kind of settled with everything. And I told myself a story where it was just like, it's all wasted time, all that stuff. And then I started realizing, hey, if I don't do something about this, I'm going to start doing a self-fulfilling prophecy. And the direction I was going, and a lot of this stuff also all coincided with my drinking and getting sober and all this stuff. I was looking for, I think I was looking for someone to save me. I think I was looking for someone to come in and to say, this is it. I can see it. I can see the stuff that's kind of going in your head and the little things that you're doing, on your breaks on your computer, even though you're not really branching out, you've got potential, kid, let's go. And I realized no one was going to do that. No one was going to fight for me but me. And that's when I had a big shift and just started saying, hey, wait a minute, let's wake up. What can I do with my given circumstances where I am now? And I really thank my friend Chris McPherson at that time, because he was a guy that was down there working in management, who started bringing me into like leadership classes and things like that to help me really kind of get out of this muck and this depression I was in. And I just started looking around what my circumstances were and just said, okay, what can I do with the circumstances I've been given, and what can I start to do to push forward? And that ended with me ending up, yes, I ended up leaving in a regular position as a performer, but then ending up becoming a, freelance consultant and director with them. Just pivoted. It just changed, but I had to do that. So what's it for you? What has it been for you? What's the thing that you've put off forever and that you haven't worked on, but you need to get back to it? You can do this just one little bit at a time. Thanks for watching the show today. If you like this, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button so that you find out when we're doing these. And again, you can always join us over in the Working Creatives community to help you get your stuff moving it forward out of that drawer and into the world. Thanks, guys, for being on this show, this stream, and I will see you guys later. God bless you. Bye-bye.